Now, next up on the list, we got somebody who we've seen over the years kind of come up with his face card until shit kind of went left for him when he hit No Jumper, and a lot of people start having some question marks about his character. We got Pfacebabyyy coming out of Compton, Barrio, Los Padrinos.
You ain't never even shot nobody. You ain't even got nobodies. You ain't even shot nobodies. You ain't never had to walk up and pop somebody. Shot nobodies. Boy, you ain't got nobodies. I got homies doing time really just for a body. Young homies on that block posted up with the burner. I was only 13 when I did my first murder. Like.
Now, to start it off properly, one of the most recent things we've seen from P-Face was a situation that happened to him at Universal Studios where he did what Stupid Young shoulda did when he seen his enemies outside. Now, I know a lot of y'all had a lot to say about the Stupid Young shit when we spoke on it, when some dudes had dissed Stupid Young and his hood in front of his people. You know, Stupid Young turned it down and told the dude go to the bathroom and all that. Hey, man, it's either you gonna go or you not. And I know eventually them dudes end up going to the bathroom. I think Stupid Young's homies ended up punching on somebody. Fuck all the diversions and the antics and shit. My thing is, you popping it on the record, dissing your enemies, saying you with that, and then niggas want to pull a Don King orchestration when you actually run into one of your enemies in an unfavorable situation. We're not doing none of that. Pfacebabyyy got off right where the problem started, and that's what we want to see. Now, fuck all that. Hey, I'm with my kids right now, man. Let's go to the bathroom. Hey, fuck all that. If this is what you pushing, this the energy that you putting out here, this what you doing and representing, you got to get cracking immediately. And we seen that. We seen the dudes low-key try to jump P-Face in front of his daughter, and he got down with them dudes, and it seemed like he came out on top, got a little chain off it and all that. For the amount of popping it, the dissing, the eye busters he got, he didn't disappoint when it was time to, when them cameras cut on his ass. So that situation, I'm gonna give him his points for. And then he comes out with this freestyle saying some crazy shit, talking about he was a part of a skit at 13. You know, I don't know what this dude is doing, but he seemingly is moving wild out here. But previously, there was allegations, 2 different allegations, one of which seemed to be completely true, that he was banging Compton Barrio 117 before Barrio Los Padrinos, therefore deeming him a hood hopper. Now, the picture is out there. For y'all don't know, that look like that one way, they got that cul-de-sac that they be on. It's either that cul-de-sac or Alabama where it wrap around. One of them streets look like exactly where Pfacebabyyy was in that picture. And he got his arms up for the 11 and somebody next to him holding up the 7 for CV 117. Now, he looked like a young dude. We had this same situation with Jet Beezy. Now, Jet Beezy's situation was a lot more definitive. Him throwing up Neighborhood 111, the Rolling Hunters, Sandy from the Rolling Hunters, and now, of course, having aligned himself with East Coast. This looks like the same situation with P-Face being a young dude, aligning himself with 117, ditching them dudes, and going over to the east side of Compton with BLP. So that right there, that's not what we want to see. The hood hopping, we can't do that shit. Now, like I said, when I spoke on the Jet Beezy situation, it's somewhat of a common thing. Now, I'm not going to say like super common, but this is something that we do see a lot of, especially with dudes in their young age. You know, you may be 13, 14, then got with some dudes, throwing some shit up. You may have got put on, you may not have got put on. And things change. Your mama move out that hood, you switch schools, whatever, you end up in somebody else's hood and end up falling under their program. Could that be the case? I'm not sure. You know, it's rare that we see motherfuckers say, yeah, I was from 117 before, you know, and I just came to the hood and, you know, became BLP. I doubt we gonna see that, you know, and I think that was addressed, and I think he said it was false. But we seen somebody has said the reasoning behind this switch, or something that went along with him switching hoods, was him faking his death. Now, they posted like a suicide note from this dude or some other shit like that. Again, this dude was young at this time, middle school, high school age. With these kids, you know you can't put nothing past them, man. So could it have been some weird shit he was doing in high school? It could have been. The suicide death note, all that shit, I don't know about all that. But that picture where they was throwing up 117, that looks pretty definitive to me. And it looked like he went from 117 to BLP, which isn't proper. But nonetheless, we see this dude fully banging BLP. And a lot of people spoke about the situation that he had with young Aunt Hefe up at No Jumper, where Aunt Hefe asked him, where you from? You know, I don't know if that question should have been asked on camera, but I know he was dipping out and it's like, man, yo, you finna leave? Wait a second, let me get this out the way. Where you from again?
You have to like want like Brett Michaels so bad that you're down to fight over him.
No,
Or Flavor Flav.
maybe it'll be like somebody, another like.
Yo, appreciate you, dog. Sorry.
Strong
His
alpha
interview is
female
coming
or
out. It's going to
something.
change the game.
Not just no raggedy hood rat.
All right, Aunt, bro.
P-Face, the hardest out.
Yup, must you be. Where you from in Compton?
Yeah, I'm from Eastside Compton.
What hood?
I'm from Compton BLP, Compton Barrio, Padrinos.
All right, 83rd Street,
That's
bro.
what's happening, man. Shout out Compton.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how the shit play out sometimes. I think it was that, like, I didn't get a chance to ask you, you know, young Ed may have felt like he wasn't going to get to see him again, or, you know, it was their introduction and he didn't expect him to leave so soon. So this is a question that has to be asked. I see you got these eye busters. You got this, you got that. Okay, where you from? And he came off somewhat aggressive. To me, he banged his hood like he was supposed to bang his hood. You know, he don't know young Ant. He in a room also full of black people. You know, nobody finna be quiet as a mouse saying they hood, especially when somebody asks you where you from. So I didn't look into that too much. I know a lot of people was trying to say, oh, he banged on him or he did some other shit. I think that shit was just normal and natural. And I do see him, of course, banging BLP to the fullest extent, which I appreciate. But the shit that got him on everybody's radar was a video of him again. As a young dude, he seemed like he was pretty misled when he was young, saying that N-word with that hard R on it. This is the bad shit, man.
Nigga, fuck niggas, nigga.
And all that kind of talk.
Nigga, K, nigga, what the fuck crabs, nigga, fuck 7th Street, whatever, fuck twatties, nigga. On the...
And I'ma just say this, you know, I know a lot of people aren't surprised that he said that. You know what I'm saying? Kind of expected it. But the thing is, this is not proper Southside representation. Nobody wants to be known as this. No Hispanic or Southside member is gonna stand up and say, yeah, I'll just be calling people the N-word with the hard R. No black person gonna come and say, yeah, I'll be calling Hispanics derogatory names. Nobody wants to be represented in a way where it seems like you racist to the other side, especially when gangbanging is involved. For a couple main reasons. Number one, it makes your face card extremely hot, and that potentially makes your hood hot, depending on your relationships in your section. Where it seems like, oh, you saying this word and your homies is backing you up, you know, that can cause tension when you go back into your community. Nobody want that shit. Nobody want to bring no shit like that to their front door. Because when racial tension is high, that's when the gangbanging shit gets taken to another level. Everybody knows that. I don't think the Southsiders want to be represented and known for that either. Exclusively though. You know what I'm saying? Now, this ain't the first situation that we've seen this happen. And we know, I read the comments, a lot of people expect this from the Southsiders. But again, what I will say is nobody wants this shit on their jacket. Nobody wants to be known as the dude that said some racist shit like that. And for sure, it's a bad look on P-Face. Just like it was a bad look on Drex that we gonna speak on. And for anybody that says that shit. But that situation right there is really where he started to fall out of favor, and I feel like shot himself in his foot with the momentum because he had just got on No Jumper, just did his interview, and then that shit come out. It's like, man, now you can't even go back to No Jumper with this shit. And No Jumper somewhere that has black and brown on it. Like I said, OTR, which P-Face is an affiliate of, OTR is trying to bridge the gap between black and brown. Now, I'm sure a lot of people have reached out, or the black people that he is around have hollered at him and, you know, rectified the situation with him. He's took acknowledgement that he said that shit when he was young and all that shit, but that shit does and did slow P-Face motion down when it comes to bubbling up to that next level. And it was bad representation as a Southsider out here in the streets. But along with that, we also see this dude with some street problems too. You know, he was with Lil Weirdo when they shot that music video up in Fresno. I'm supposing it was in the Bulldog hood. You know, all of Fresno is pretty much known to be Bulldog territory, which we also know are the rivals of the Southsiders. And we know down here there's no competition between Norteño, Bulldog, any of that. So they really had to go up there looking for that problem, and they went up there looking for it. And it said that somebody got cracking on them while they was up there shooting up their Airbnb. So this dude is still outside doing this shit again. He's a young dude. He's participating in the street activities. And like I said, he's also beefing with Swifty Blue, beefing with Problem the Goon, who we also gonna speak on in this video, coming out the San Gabriel Valley. But overall, I think, again, like I said from the beginning, it's a lot of new, young representation that's representing the South Side right now. And we know a lot of mistakes can be made when you're young, man. Especially now that we got these cameras out here. You know, it's potential bags on the table for these dudes coming out the hood. Competition, niggas trying to make sure they music, they brand, and they career is taking off. It's a lot going on. These dudes are extremely young. I like the activity at P-Face with him not folding with his enemies. But reputation and impact-wise, man, the hood hopping, that video with the hard R, all that shit, completely messed his motion and his reputation up. We got to give P-Face a D. I'm not going to completely mark him out because he's not being a buster in the streets from what I've seen, but he got to get a D because his past has came back to haunt him, and everybody sees it, man.